Good morning, India. Good morning, humanity worldwide. I want to thank Delhi Chief Minister Mr. Arvind Kejriwal as he sacks his food minister. Economic Times reports sacking his cabinet colleague in a press conference. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal sends out a strong signal, announces that no one will be spared, not even his son. It is very important as we see the ruling class is consisted of the representatives elected by the people in our democracy, and most of them are millionaires or billionaires. Without any investment, without any production, they have earned more than enough, and without keeping the books clear, without paying tax, enjoying the tax holidays, enjoying their status, they have made money. And making money is all about politics these days. This is the trend. The nation is discussing about the caste war in Bihar. And look at the candidates, their muscle power, their money power, and their linguistics full of abuses. And it is not an election campaign, it is a hate campaign, it is polarization. It is caste polarization on the one hand, and the ruling hegemony, the governance of fascism is doing everything for religious polarization. Hence, big ban is planned. The beef gate stimulates the division, the partition within the country. We read news break about murders of innocent people doubted to be eating beef. Any rumor of beef eating might flare of riots anywhere, anytime. And it is helping the Hindutva alliance, the grand alliance of Hindutva, including all the Rams converted into Hanumans from Bahujan Samaj. And it is polarization, religious polarization, caste polarization. It is the politics of corrupt politicians empowered with muscle power, empowered with money power. Thus, Arvind Kejriwal has done an excellent job. I have not to do anything with politics. I had been criticizing Kejriwal for its dictatorial, draconian ways. I have been knowing Mr. Yuvendra Yadav, who had been the think tank of AAM AADMI Party, which erased the aspirations and expectations of the people subjected to persecution, repression and corruption. The whole system is corrupted. Mr. Anna Hazare took the initiative. He is a Gandhian and he came from Ralegaon and he took Indian capital New Delhi by storm with his performance in Ramlila ground, New Delhi. He was the performer, but the event manager was Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. I know a little about his background. He belonged to the Youth for Equality group, which had a major role to launch Anti Reservation agitation in India. He is responsible for the debate that quota and reservation have no relevance. He was reacting against Mandal Commission reports passed by Mr. Vishwanath Singh and Mandal versus Kamandal saga. The Anti Reservation movement and the Babri Mosque demolition movement heralded the neoliberal age. The economic reforms, the economic ethnic cleansing, we have to keep in mind. I was impressed with Arvind and AAM AADMI Party's movement, political activism against identities. The voters who supported AAM AADMI Party during last elections were across the identities, above the identities. It is positive. We may forget the anti-reservation movement, and it has to continue because the caste system is sustained. India has been partitioned to sustain the Manusmriti rule. It was a grand Hindutva alliance which partitioned India and marginalized and sent all real and genuine Indian leaders into exile. They had been excluded. I have been talking about this at least in last 4 videos. I have tried to deal the partition saga beyond the photo bombing of Lord Mountbatten and Gandhi's meeting. I was trying to decode the conspiracies, the cabinet proposals, but I have not got the documents. Hence, it is wrong to make Arvind Kejriwal, even Hardik Patel, the all overall responsible for this anti reservation anti-quota movement. This opposition is in default. It is in the system. It had to be opposed because some castes are being privileged and some castes are not. Only a set of strong muscle power castes have got the reservation and quotas and others are deprived. And I think it would be a major clash in between the SC, ST and OBC communities in near future, as we have seen the Gujars in Rajasthan, they were clashing against the Meena community. As our people, the Bengali refugees across the countries deprived of reservation are demanding reservation, and the Bahujan Samaj has no sympathy with that. It means that it is not the fight in between caste Hindus, those the general castes who are deprived of reservation and quota, and the SC, ST, OBC communities and minorities, at least a section of them who have got the reservation and quota. We would be discussing this point in detail as soon as we get the documents, the graphic details of Dr. Anand Teltumre to be published in mainstream. We would be discussing on that point, because the status is that, the fact is that the status of quota and reservation implementation is around zero or below zero, because the government sector is privatized and there is no reservation or quota in private sector. The main problem is unemployment. The caste war intensified because they have been diverted into the politics of identities. And hence, I welcome Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, as he is the only politician in India who, at least at this point, is not being engaged into the politics of identities, and he is trying to address the problem of corruption. It is my point. I am not a supporter of Arvind Kejriwal, and I do not intend to seek a ticket from Arvind Kejriwal, because I am not going to fight any election. I have already welcomed Mr. Mamata Banerjee, who has published Netaji documents, 64 documents and cabinet papers, which inspired me to look back into the history, into the phenomenon of partition. And I am not a supporter of Mamata Banerjee. I often criticize his governance which is devoid of public welfare, and he is banking on the laws legislated by left front government, and he is empowered by those laws enacted by the left front government to enhance their dictatorial governance. So everything has a cause and effect. It is the scientific method. We must see the matter in that light. And Economic Times reads, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Friday evening announced sacking of one cabinet minister Asim Ahmad at a live press conference for alleged accepting bribe. The AAP Supremo said he was acting on a complaint which alleged that Asim had accepted a bribe of rupees 6 lakh to help a builder in Matia Mabel, of which the latter is elected MLA. The complaint on Thursday also attached evidence of the audio recording of a phone call purported between the minister and a middleman for the builder. Yes, the phone recording caught minister red-handed. And हिंदी जनसत्ता रिपोर्टेड हटाए गए आपके एक और मंत्री घूसखोरी का आरोप। दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल ने एक बिल्डर से 6 लाख रुपए मांगने के आरोप को लेकर पर्यावरण और खाद्य मंत्री असीम अहमद खान को शुक्रवार को बर्खास्त कर दिया और इसकी सीबीआई जांच कराने की सिफारिश की। जल्दबाजी में बुलाए गए एक पत्रकार सम्मेलन में बर्खास्तगी की घोषणा करते हुए केजरीवाल ने कहा कि भ्रष्टाचार को कतई बर्दाश्त नहीं करने का आम आदमी पार्टी की नीति के तहत यह फैसला किया गया। इसके साथ ही उन्होंने भाजपा को राजस्थान की मुख्यमंत्री वसुंधरा राजे एंड मध्य प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान को बर्खास्त करने की चुनौती दी। इट इज द मैटर, द पॉइंट लाइज हियर। द RSS governance talks much about Swadesh and patriotism. What type of patriotism is this? The head of the government is roaming around the globe and he has put the nation on sale just because he wants the foreign interests and foreign capital and foreign companies, thousands of East India companies should rule India. And the economy is all about the exclusion of the masses from the economics. And it is infinite displacement, deportation, exclusion and ethnic cleansing drive which are defined as economic reforms. It is very contradictory that Arvind Kejriwal has not protested the economic reforms. I should remind you that he lost a case against Reliance in his drive to make electricity affordable in Delhi at his, during his first tenure of chief minister, and he failed to follow up this initiative with action, and the corporate lobby was against Arvind Kejriwal. The corporate lobby, which was supporting Arvind Kejriwal from the beginning, they devastated Arvind Kejriwal. And recently, during the period while Delhi was inflicted with dengue, the media had launched a campaign, a dengue campaign against Arvind Kejriwal to discredit him in the best interest of BJP, which wanted to recapture Delhi. We have to keep this in mind. Arvind Kejriwal could not follow up his actions against corruption of the corporate companies, and he chose to address the individual corruption. The case is like this. In spite of this, I support Arvind Kejriwal. I welcome Arvind Kejriwal because individual corruption is not a minor case. And as we see, the declarations about black money, the professionals, the individuals have more black money than those, the corporate heads and others. And I am afraid the politicians in India have the largest amount of black money. And this rot has to be uprooted if we want to save humanity, if we want to address the problem of climate change, the natural calamities, and we want to stop this ethnic cleansing, exclusion and displacement drive, the refugee influx, we have to kill the corruption in politics. Bengali Daily এই সময় রিপোর্টেড সাংবাদিক বৈঠক ডেকে মন্ত্রীকে বরখাস্ত করলেন কেজরিওয়াল। ফের চমক কেজরিওয়ালের। এবারে দস্তুর মতো সাংবাদিক বৈঠক ডেকে দুর্নীতির অডিও টেপ শুনিয়ে মন্ত্রিসভার সদস্যকে বরখাস্ত করে নজির গড়লেন দিল্লির মুখ্যমন্ত্রী। ঘুষ চাওয়ার অভিযোগে দিল্লির খাদ্য ও অস্বাভাবিক সরবরাহ মন্ত্রী অসীম আহমেদ খানকে বরখাস্ত করলেন তিনি। অসমের বিরুদ্ধে ওঠা অভিযোগ তদন্তের জন্য সিবিআই এর কাছেও পাঠিয়েছেন মুখ্যমন্ত্রী। This report brands this act as a gimmick. Mr. Kejriwal should be aware of that. This act against corruption should not reduce into a gimmick as it had been earlier, as the AAM AADMI Party has reduced into a gimmick, and the forces which supported AAM AADMI Party and Arvind Kejriwal's drive against corruption, they alienated themselves, and it is a story of the past now. Mr. Yugandhar Yadav is no longer with Arvind Kejriwal. The people who supported Kejriwal in Punjab and Mumbai and countrywide, many of them deserted Arvind Kejriwal, alleging that he behaves like a dictator. We are not accustomed to democracy. We are not habitual to behave like democratic peoples. We share photos, we share selfies, but we are not habitual to discuss the real issues. We are not habitual to address the problems. We are not habitual to address the challenges the nation faces, the economy faces, the nature faces, the humanity faces, as we are not concerned with the wellness of nature. We are not concerned with the sustenance of humanity. We are not concerned with the plight of humanity. We are not concerned with the infinite refugee influx, holocaust. We are detached people. We are detached. Because we are detached, this corruption saga continues as the development saga continues, and the growth rate is high, so much so, while the agrarian production rate is near zero and the industrial growth rate is something better enough to boost indices, to boost the bull run in the share market. And everything is linked to the share market. The economy is all about service sector. And this service sector, this investment drive, this free flow of foreign capital, this free flow of foreign interest, these are the basic roots of corruption. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is not addressing this problem. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has not opposed the violation of civic rights and human rights countrywide. He has not opposed the violation of privacy, the surveillance of citizens, and the biometric citizenship, the unique identity project. He had to. If he is committed to his campaign against corruption, he should voice the suffering, the plight, the exploitation, the repression, the exclusion, the ethnic cleansing of the nature-associated agrarian communities, the working class. Arvind Kejriwal has not opposed the labor reforms. He has not voiced the resistance against the killing of the rights of the working classes. The working classes have been excluded from the production system. The production system in itself is devastated, and we depend on service sector. The top politicians have reduced themselves as the sales agent of corporate companies, foreign capital, and it is corruption. It is all about the payoffs. It is all about the commission. The commission deposited in Swiss bank accounts, and our politicians, the supremos of regional parties, even those in mainstream political parties, they do not keep their accounts very clear. Their earning, their money making is not subjected to taxation. They enjoy tax holiday, and it is corruption. And it is the system of corruption. Act against any individual is very easy, but the task to change the corrupt system is not that easy. You have to address the basic problems of economy, because this service oriented, this free flow of foreign capital oriented politics, this corporate funding, all these things have made our politicians corrupt. This syndicate Raj, this promoter Raj, this builder Raj, which altogether is defined as industrialization. Industrialization without production. Industrialization without production system. Industrialization without labor class, without working class. Industrialization killing the hukuk of the workers, and peasants are committing suicide, and the business community has to commit suicide in near future, I am afraid. The Indian industries are not in good health. I am repeating this. I had been repeating this again and again, that Indian industries and Indian business get nothing. They do not enjoy the tax holiday that is enjoyed by the foreign companies. They do not enjoy the retro mode of taxation to ensure tax relief to foreign companies. They are getting just Baba Ji ka thullu. This is corruption. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal should have enough jigra to address this corruption, because the essential commodities, essential public services have been linked to market. They have been privatized, as it was in the dengue case, because entire health sector is privatized and nobody can get proper treatment, equal treatment free of cost in government hospitals, and the manpower engaged in the government hospitals, they have shifted to private nursing homes. They are still there in the government hospitals, but they are working for the private sector. And if the people want that they should get cured, they should survive, they have to go to private hospitals, and it needs money. And that is the cause for which dengue was not controlled in Delhi, and everyone was attacking Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. I oppose that, because you have privatized the health sector. You are making every government hospital virtually private hospital. You have to bear the burn. In the same way, knowledge economy is privatized. Every government school have to be privatized, and it is all about the agenda of poverty eradication. All the social sector welfare schemes have been excluded. There is no allocation, or not enough allocation for those schemes. Named and renamed, these schemes have been the vehicles of cash liquidity. As rate cuts ensure cash liquidity in the market, the welfare schemes also mean cash liquidity only to supply purchasing power to the masses so that they should enter in the market. The pay scales, for example, the 7th Pay Commission report, which had been already published, and the pay calculator is available, and it has boosted the festival market. The rate cuts were there, and the people are rushing in the market. I cannot move from my place to the main road, BT road, without spending 30 minutes, which should take 2 minutes only, because it is shopping all around. It is shopping on footpath, it is shopping in the streets, it is shopping in the markets. I am not against the retail market, but this market is hijacked by shopping malls, by showrooms, and the business community is not benefited with this emerging market. That's the problem, and that's the root of corruption, and the business community has to suffer. Indian industrialists have to suffer. Indian masses have to suffer. I would like Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and all politicians, all those concerned with corruption, to address this economy inflicted with foreign capital, foreign interest, and the citizenship subjected to surveillance, and the annihilation of civic rights, human rights, and natural resources, which herald the natural calamities, which herald the climate change. It is summer all the way, and it is very disastrous. We have to be aware of that. I am warning against this again and again. I am warning that the Himalayas might explode any time, and we have to defend the resources of water. We have to defend the resources of food. We have to defend the survival kits. It is corruption. It is the corrupt politics, and the politics of identity, the politics of caste war, which kills humanity and nature in this part of world. I would like Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and other people to address this problem first. Without addressing these problems, you can take action against any individual, but it would not kill the corruption, it would not kill the caste, it would not kill the religious partition, it would not kill the caste war, and it would kill humanity, of course, it would kill man and nature, of course. Again, I thank Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Thank you, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, for this initiative, which should not be turned into a gimmick, I hope. Good morning, India. Good morning, humanity.